So let's talk about modern love and modern dating advice because I've recently dipped my toe into the deep, dark well of online dating advice. And I found it to be particularly soul crushing, particularly concerning, particularly heartbreaking, actually. And I think that many people probably feel the same way. And I'm not a dating coach. I don't consider myself to be particularly successful or unsuccessful in dating. I just think that I've developed a perspective, and I think that there's some things that I'd like to be said, like that I'd like to hear said in online dating advice that I'm not hearing. And I just want to say some of those things because I think maybe people want to hear them and people know these things instinctively, intuitively. Yet the fact that they're not being said makes us question them. And so, for better or worse, I don't necessarily think that a lot of the dating advice that's out there is particularly wrong. I think more of the issue that I have is with the tone. I think that a lot of it is being packaged in this very prescriptive and soulless way. The tone is like more fitting of career advice than advice on love. And what worries me is like, maybe that's all we can take these days. Like maybe this is a reflection of our society. Like maybe we've just become so comfortably numb that the only advice we can take on love, on what's supposed to be the most deeply profound and meaningful thing in life, is advice that sounds like advice on how to fix your car. Like that's what it sounds like to me. Like if you took the audio away from these videos and asked me what these people were talking about, might as well be how to fix your car because like there just doesn't seem to be any magic in anything that they're saying. And I think that it's sad because we've lost a lot as a society. Like men and women are more divided than ever. People are more isolated than ever. Work isn't what it used to be. We don't have community in the same way that we used to have. And like if we're starting to diminish love down to these very prescriptive and just soulless anecdotes, then like what is the point? Like what are we reaching for? Like what is there that's more meaningful in life that we should be trying to attain than finding love? I think that so much of our society these days is like interested in social and economic mobility that we've wrapped finding love and we've wrapped modern dating into that need, that want. And I think a lot of it comes from social media. I think that a lot of it comes from seeing people who have things that you think are better than what you have and you want to try and go and get those things. And modern dating advice is maybe pandering to that. Maybe that's what it's taking advantage of because the algorithms show what people watch, right? If people are watching it, the algorithms will show more of it. So what's out there is also, it's a reflection of what people are watching. It's a reflection of maybe what people want these days. I really hope not. I hope that somehow we just forgot that love is supposed to be this magical thing. And then when we remember, we'll just like wake up and then everything will like go back to normal, you know? But I don't know. I that's probably not the case. I think that unfortunately, a lot of the dating advice that's out there just feels so incredibly shallow to me. And it's all about what you can do to get something. It's all about getting something. Like, how can you get a better person? If you're a man, they say go to the gym, make more money. If you're a woman, they say become more attractive. And so what does that get you? That gets you like a beautiful girl at a table with a well-off man and nothing to say to each other, no way to connect to each other. Like, of course, like, go to the gym, right? Of course, like, be as good looking as you can be. Like, why would that ever be bad? But you need so many other skills. There's so many deeper skills that you need to fall in love, to build love with someone, than the advice to just go to the gym or to make more money. Like, it's so shallow. And I think that maybe that's why people are having so much trouble in the dating world, and they find online dating and dating apps to be so disappointing, because we're going into it and we have the advice that we get to go into it is just not helpful at all. It doesn't condone finding love, finding something magical, building something with another person. And like, I think by now, like, we know that men like attractive women, and we know that women like men who can be supportive of them, whether it's emotionally, financially, physically, like, we know that, right? So why do we keep saying the same old things? Like, hearing that and people putting that out there over and over again, I don't think it's helpful. Like, I think that we know that, and we've lost our ability to connect on a deeper level, and that's the advice that people need to hear, because that's what people aren't getting. People know that they should go to the gym. Women know that if they can make themselves better looking, like, or do their makeup or whatever it is, that they could potentially be more attractive. But I just, like, I don't think that that's the advice people need. I think it's a waste of time to keep putting that out there. But I guess maybe people put it out there because that's where we're at in society, where that's what people listen to. I don't know. That's my concern, I guess. And what worries me is that, we've just become so shallow that our tendency is to just seek out advice that reinforces our already held beliefs. So it's like we already believe these things. And so the most comfortable thing to do is to just hear the things we already believe being said back to us again. And I really hope that's not the case. I think if I had to give people one piece of dating advice, it would be to shut up and listen. Actually, like, put yourself aside long enough to genuinely listen and learn about another person. Like, we're so selfish these days. We're so selfish with social media. And I think, like, all the advice about, like, going to the gym and making more money and being more pretty and attractive is just, like, making people more narcissistic. I think we're, like, a more narcissistic society now than ever before. Everyone just wants to, like, show off on social media and just, like, move up socially and economically. That's what it feels like from the advice that's out there, at least to me. And I think, like, what's going to help you most in getting and keeping a relationship is learning how to communicate. Like, learning how to be kind to another person despite their differences. Like, we've become so picky these days that people will just look at a guy's height and be like, I'm not going to date him because he's not tall enough, or I'm not going to date her because she's got this particular type of hair, or whatever. Like, we've just become so picky. Like, we've taken all the human aspects out of dating, and it's just become algorithmic in a sense. It's mimicking technology, I think. And I think that we're just getting so accustomed to getting what we want immediately that anything that we have to work for, anything that takes actual investment, feels unattainable. Like, we're so accustomed to Amazon just bringing things immediately, and we're so accustomed to DoorDash and all of these things that just come so easily and so quickly in our society, that when it comes to something like love, when it comes to something like a relationship that actually takes time and effort, we think, well, it's just not attainable. Or like, oh, the opposite sex is all bad. Or, oh, all these dating apps, the algorithm doesn't like me. I have bad pictures. Like, we make up all these excuses when really it's like, we're just not open enough as people. We're just not invested enough to make it work. And I think that, we're all caught up in what a person has in online dating advice. They tell you, become wealthier, become more pretty, become more beautiful, right? But, like, beauty is not a predictor of, like, whether or not a person can have a conversation, right? No amount of money can buy you a best friend. Like, you have to work on these things. You have to build these things. You have to learn how to make a person feel understood and cared for and protected. And we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that because I don't think people are interested in it, unfortunately. And I think we should be aiming when it comes to love, because everything else is so shallow. We should be aiming for love to be something that's deeper, something that touches your soul. And maybe I just sound corny. Maybe I'm just, like, from another generation or something. But I just don't think that the advice that we're hearing today is romantic at all. It's like the most unromantic advice ever for what's supposed to be the most romantic thing you encounter in life. Love, dating, like finding a relationship. It's supposed to be like this magical thing. And it's just so shallow. So shallow. And, love can be life-changing. Love is not about getting, right? So much of the advice is about getting something. Yet, anytime I think like you experience real love, you feel for the other person that like you just want them to be happy. Like you just want them to be happy despite what you want, right? And there's something like so magical about that feeling that like you can't get it from anywhere else. Yet we don't talk about that when we talk about love. We just talk about like our own upward mobility within the social hierarchy. All of this dating advice is failing to communicate that if you want to have a deeper level of communication and connection with another person, that you have to learn how to have that with yourself. Like you have to learn how to be able to go deep into yourself and examine the things you like about yourself and the things that you don't like about yourself. If you want to have that with another person, like if there are parts about yourself that you find deeply disturbing, like you're going to see those things mirrored in another person back at you, and then you're not going to like that person for those reasons. Like you have to learn how to sit with yourself. You have to learn how to become comfortable with yourself. You have to learn how to stop needing so much validation and attention from other people in order to give something to another person, because love is about giving something to another person. It's not about getting something. I think that is the main issue in a lot of this advice, is that people are trying to get something. They're not trying to give something. And people are trying to work on their exterior in order to get this. And again, I don't think going to the gym is bad. I don't think learning how to do your hair and your makeup is bad. I just think that when that's all you do, it becomes highly problematic because you don't get the deep connection that you want with another person. And then you just keep trying to alter your appearance to go and find that thing. It's just not working. It's like the definition of insanity is just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, right? And I think like one of the best things that I heard when I was listening to dating advice, there's good dating advice out there, right? There is good stuff. It's not all bad. It's just the majority is what I'm talking about. So one of the best things I heard, and I hadn't thought about this, I never would have thought about this on my own, was that if you have a dating profile, you shouldn't put your absolute best photos on there, because you're going to find someone who's expecting you to be that every single day. Whereas if you put the photos of yourself on just an average day on there, then you'll find someone who likes that average, everyday version of yourself. And then when you do get dressed up, when you do look better, when you are the better version of yourself, they're going to like you even more. So you're just like setting yourself up to win. Whereas the other version, you're potentially just setting yourself up for disappointment, right? You're setting a standard that you just can't keep up with. And I think so much of modern dating advice is about finding this ideal person that you're imagining in your mind, when so much of real love, in my opinion, is like finding someone that's like so unique that you couldn't have imagined them. Like that's where the magic comes in, is that you get something so amazing that you didn't know existed, that you didn't think could exist, that you never would have imagined on your own. But so much of modern dating advice is about figuring out this archetypical person that you want and then turning yourself into the type of person who would like that person, which, like, I don't think that's particularly wrong. It's just like, why create some sort of magic person that doesn't exist? Because like anytime you go into something with expectations, like you're going to be disappointed. Whereas if you just remain open to the possibilities, you might end up finding something that's even better than what you thought you wanted. And I think that there's this really good scene in Good Will Hunting. And if you haven't seen this, like, look this up. It's with Robin Williams and Matt Damon. And Matt Damon is young, and Robin Williams is older. He's a professor. And Matt Damon comes in and he says that he found this girl he really likes, but he's not going to call her because he doesn't want to ruin the ideal version of her. This amazing, like, she's perfect in his mind right now, and he doesn't want to ruin that. And Robin Williams says to him something along the lines of like, well, maybe you're just not wanting to ruin the fact that you're perfect in her eyes right now. And that, I hate to break it to you, but neither of you is perfect. And then he goes on to talk about his own wife who passed away, and about how what he remembers of her are all the little things, the little intricacies, right? He goes on to say things about her that aren't particularly nice, that you wouldn't say, oh, I want this quality in a partner, yet he remembers those things and he loved those things about her. And he wouldn't replace those things if he had the chance. And I think so much of love, and like when you find someone that you really care about, is about liking the parts of them that other people think aren't perfect, right? And like that's how you heal each other in love, is like finding someone who likes you even for the things that aren't necessarily good about you, right? Whereas modern dating is all just about just like turning yourself into someone who looks perfect on social media, and like people are just so much deeper than that. I think we're just forgetting about all the nuance that comes with love and modern dating, and I think the nuance is where the fun lies. The nuance is the interesting part, yet it's the part that we're just completely overlooking and just like forgetting that it even exists. Meanwhile, that's the part that's the most interesting. And I think that a lot of the advice that's out there is, you know, it's not necessarily bad to learn, right? A lot of it is about attachment style and psychology, and it's nice to learn these things. I think it's great, but I think at a certain point it becomes unhelpful. I think that Dorothy was far more fascinated with Oz before she looked behind the curtain. You know, like sometimes when you know too much about something, it takes the magic out of it. And okay, in most things in life, it's really good to know a lot, right? It's really good to have a lot of information, but we are like addicted to information in this culture, and there should be at least like one thing that still has some magic in it. Like love should still have a little bit of magic in it, and we're just getting rid of all of it. We're just getting rid of all the magic and like breaking it down to these attachment styles, and men are this way and women are this way. And on some level, yeah, but on some level there's like a complete continuum. And I've listened to some dating coaches who talk about, oh, the man always has to be dominant and the woman has to be submissive. And it's like, some guys don't want to be dominant. Some guys want to be more submissive. Some women want to be more submissive. Some women want to be more dominant. Like, everything is along a spectrum. And when you start to try and fit it into a box, of course you're going to be disappointed because it just doesn't fit, right? You can go into one situation thinking like, oh, I have to be the dominant one here. Meanwhile, you're kind of, that's not really you. And you go into it acting that way, and then things don't really work out. And then you feel bad because it didn't work out the way that they said it was going to. Meanwhile, it didn't work out the way you wanted it to because you just weren't yourself in the situation. I think we don't talk enough about like just being comfortable with who you are in modern dating. It's all about just like becoming something else, becoming this thing that people think they want. Meanwhile, most people don't know what they want, and they wouldn't know what to do with it if they got it. And I think that like we have to learn to appreciate the mystery of love, because like I think that love is something that existed before humans started to dissect it. Like it's almost like a force that exists alongside humans, alongside other things. Like, I don't know, at least that's what it feels like to me. It feels like it's more than just this thing to be studied scientifically or socially, or I don't know, it doesn't feel to me like dissecting it on all these different levels is helpful. It's interesting. It's certainly interesting. And I think that we may think it's helpful. We may trick ourselves into thinking that it's helpful. But the truth is, like, I think when you find real love, when you find someone you actually connect with, like, you start to realize that, like, all the standards that you have set don't sort of fit, right? All the things that you have learned are, like, kind of relevant, but also kind of not. I think, like, we have to just learn to be more open. Like, being more open to love, being more accepting of a person, being more forgiving. Like, forgiveness is so important in love because, like, no one's perfect. Everybody messes up. Like, you have to kind of think about what level of forgiveness you want to have, like how far do you want to go with that, but you have to have some forgiveness even for little things. Like people are going to, leave their socks all over the house and like not take the garbage out on time. Like you got to just have forgiveness in love rather than just spend all your time working on going to the gym and like leveling up financially or aesthetically. Like learn to like give people some forgiveness, like learn to accept people. We got to let love just be mysterious again, I think that the information that we have about it, it's not helpful, and we've become so numb as a society that like we don't have the ability to feel anymore. And if not feeling, then what is love about? Like what is it about? Like you can level up your life in so many other ways, right? Why try to do that through a relationship? Like, do it through your career, do it through your friendships, do it through networking, do it through other things. But like, it just seems so shallow and so vapid to do it that way. Like, why take the most amazing thing in life and like look at it as a means of mobility? It's just like, I just think it's sad. I think that like it's gonna in the end be very unfulfilling because that's not what it's supposed to be. Like you're not gonna get what you can get from love is not something that you could get from anything else, right? Like you can get upward mobility in society and economically through jobs, through networking, through other things. But what you can get from love, you can't get from work. You can't get from those other things. So why even try to do that? Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like love is not about getting something. It's about a chance to give something to another person. It's a chance to feel something. It's an opportunity to soften. It's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to become something beyond yourself. And I think that we don't need more dating advice these days. I think we need more awe. I think we need more fascination. I think we need more openness. I think we need to understand that like love should be magical, right? It should have the potential for magic, right? What you go out in the world looking for impacts what you get. And I think that if you go into the world looking for a certain thing in terms of love, like you may get that thing. But what you might not get is something that's even more amazing and even more beautiful that you could have gotten had you just been open to all the different possibilities. So I think like, put the dating advice aside and just like go out and try to find some magic. Like just try to be open, just try to be yourself, just try to be comfortable with yourself. Like meditate, be okay with just sitting alone with yourself. Because if you can't just sit in silence with yourself, how are you going to sit silently to listen to another person open up enough for you to fall in love with them? Right? Like you don't really, I don't think you really fall in love with someone until they really open up to you. And if you're not the type of person who can allow someone who can create the space for someone else to open up to you, then you're not gonna get that deeper love. Like you might get attachment, you might get like a pretty person that you could take on dates, like, or you might get someone who could take you to nice places, but like, like you're not gonna get the deeper thing. So those are just my thoughts. That's just my rant on modern love. I feel like we're missing something. I feel like the music that we have, the music of earlier generations was very much about love. Like I listened to a lot of oldies, a lot of like Beatles songs, a lot of older music, and it seems like it's almost all love songs. Yet today, like the music is like about, I don't even know, it's about like making money and like rebellion and social things. I don't know. It doesn't feel like most of the songs are love songs. Like some of them are still love songs, but not all of them. But anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel because it would be extremely helpful to me. And leave a comment below. Like, let me know if you feel the same way. I'm very curious what people feel because I'm worried that we are just not seeing love for what it should be. And I guess that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.